Hi, Alex. It's August 5th. I'm sorry I forgot to do a video yesterday. I've been working as a temp at our dad's work this week, and that makes me a bit more busy than I was around my last video. That's why I'm coming to you from the street next to my house. As you know, our dad is an electrical engineer, so I've been working on testing little circuit board guys and sticking little thingy guys on the circuit board guys. This is the lab. It has lots of things I don't know what they are. This is Label Cart. He makes labels. And I'm bad at soldering. I've been seeing our dad's coworkers around the office, and even though I'm well familiar with them now, the first few days were inevitably filled with a series of introductions. With those introductions come a question that I, as a high school senior, have heard again and again. What am I going to do when I grow up? I, unlike a year ago, have some sort of an idea of an answer to that. I want to design and build props for use on films. But what I care more about today is what that question means. Every teenager is tasked with the quest of finding who they are, whether they recognize it or not. In the transitioning between childhood and being an adult, we discover and determine certain truths about ourselves and the world around us. It can be a difficult change, and heaven knows things are different now than they were a mere 3 years ago. But now, nearing half a year until my 18th birthday, I'm in a place where I'm expected to be an adult, to make my own decisions and to grow up from childish habits. Of course, that's something that everyone needs to do throughout their life. But it's also more and more apparent to me that despite my coming of age being near, that no adult really knows what they're doing. We look up at the big people around us when we're children, and it seems to us as if they have everything figured out. They have jobs, they make money, they're responsible for who they are, and no one tells them what to do. But adulthood is a double-edged sword. Being grown up trades security for responsibility. And it seems like the only thing that really distinguishes being a kid from being a grown-up is being in a place where one doesn't quite have a full idea where one is going, and needing to go there anyway. It's finding ourselves in that place that I think makes being a teenager and going through high school so difficult, and that makes growing up so jarring. Alex, you're 5 years older than me. And even though you've said a few days after your birthday that 22 doesn't feel any different than 21, your life is totally different than it is 2 years ago. You came home, settled back into life in America, and most importantly, you met a wonderful girl who became your wife, who you love and cherish. With your life changing, you've changed too. Change doesn't stop after high school, and neither does growing up. Moving into adulthood means making sacrifices, and it can be hard to know what to keep and what to leave behind. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this thought, but my point is this. I see teenagers around me every day who are so finished with immaturity, so quick to try and tackle the responsible uncertainty of adulthood, that they lose sight of the things and parts of themselves that are crucial to their being, that have gotten them this far. They toss aside childish mementos, old friendships, and even relationships with their family members in pursuit of enlightenment through independence. I'm absolutely guilty of all of these things. But it's important to ask ourselves if it's worth it to speed ahead to marching into the unknown, if that means we're foregoing the parts of ourselves that we actually already have. Being like a kid isn't a bad thing in and of itself. We just have to balance it with doing our best as adults. We're all figuring life out, and that will never end. So don't get too ahead of yourself. Life will come, and we'll never be quite ready for it, even if we feel like we are. As the doctor said, what's the point of being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes? Alex, I'll see you next week.